He was born into wealth, but had never taken a single step. Daniel Whitmore, the son of a powerful millionaire, lived in a mansion filled with everything except movement. His legs were fine, his body was strong, but his mind? Paralyzed by fear. Doctors called it psychological paralysis. Therapists tried. Machines failed. His father spent millions, but Daniel remained seated, silent, until one day a new maid walked in. Her name was Grace, and she didn't come with medicine. She came with something far more powerful. Grace was unlike anyone the Whitmores had hired. She didn't wear white coats or carry clipboards. She wore humility, and she moved with purpose. She didn't tiptoe around the mansion like the others. She hummed gospel tunes while scrubbing the floors. She smiled at Daniel, not with pity, but with warmth. One afternoon, while dusting his bookshelf, she paused. "You know," she said, "my little brother couldn't walk either. Not until he saw something that made him believe he could." Daniel blinked. No one had ever told him a story like that. Grace didn't push. She planted a seed. Days passed. Grace kept working. She didn't treat Daniel like a patient. She treated him like a child. She told stories. She laughed. She danced while mopping the floor. Daniel watched, quietly, curiously. Then came the rainy afternoon. Daniel sat by the window, watching raindrops race down the glass. Grace was in the living room, cleaning. Suddenly, music filled the air, from speakers, but from Grace herself. She was dancing, not like a ballerina, like someone who had fought for every step. Her feet moved with rhythm. Her arms told stories. Her body defied gravity. Days passed. Grace kept working. She didn't treat Daniel like a patient. She treated him like a child. She told stories. She laughed. She danced while mopping the floor. Daniel watched, quietly, curiously. Then came the rainy afternoon. Daniel sat by the window, watching raindrops race down the glass. Grace was in the living room, cleaning. Then it happened. Daniel stood up. No one saw it at first, not even Grace. But Daniel took one shaky step toward the hallway, then another. His legs trembled. His eyes burned with belief. Grace turned and gasped, "Baby, you're walking." Daniel smiled. "I want to dance like you." It wasn't just movement. It was transformation. The boy who had never walked was now chasing music. Grace didn't celebrate with noise. She simply held his hands, and together, they danced across the living room. Mr. Whitmore came home early that day. He walked in, briefcase in hand, expecting silence. Instead, he saw his son, walking across the room, holding Grace's hands. He froze, then dropped the briefcase. Tears filled his eyes. The man who had built empires, crushed competitors, and never cried in public was now sobbing in his own home. "How?" he whispered. Grace didn't answer with science. She answered with truth. He didn't need a cure. He needed courage, and someone to show him what it looks like. Mr. Whitmore offered her a raise, a promotion, a permanent place in the mansion. Grace declined. "I didn't come here for money. I came here to remind people that miracles don't always wear lab coats." Weeks passed. Daniel didn't just walk. He ran. He danced. He laughed louder than the fountains outside. Grace eventually left the mansion, her job complete. But her story stayed. Daniel now performs in children's hospitals, dancing for kids who've lost hope. He tells them about the maid who moved more than dust. She moved hearts, and every time he twirls, leaps, or lands on his feet, he remembers the moment he saw Grace dance in the rain. Because sometimes, the most powerful step is the first one. If this story moved you, remember, courage doesn't always come